I'm going on a trip in less than a week, so it's time to start packing. So I'm going on a trip in about a week, so I'm going to start packing, and the airline that I booked only allows a personal item, which, if you don't know, means literally only a backpack. I've never even heard of an airline not allowing a carry-on, and I checked. To add a carry-on is $64 a flight. In what mad world am I going to pay $64 a flight for a bag? I can go without. I can pack to my heart's content in my little backpack. It'll be okay. But I know that I had to do a capsule wardrobe because I will be re-wearing these things like 10 times over. I was on Pinterest all last night getting inspired and seeing what I needed, or like things I already have in my closet that can go good with a capsule wardrobe and can be mixed and matched, but there are a few gaps. I've had this skirt pinned on my Pinterest for probably like 6 months now. It's just a white midi maxi skirt, and I can pair it with a lot of tank tops and a lot of different blouses. And I also have a men's shirt that I want to upcycle and rip off the collar and then cinch in the sleeves because they're a little bit big. I was thinking of making my friend who I'm gonna go see a hat. I have a sun hat that I made the other day, but the brim is too big, so I want to chop it, and I'm thinking of putting bias tape around it and adding little ties. Oh, and I wanted to make a cover for my passport. I have a passport. We're thinking of going into Canada. I don't want it just loose. I'm afraid I'm gonna like spill or like get it dirty, you know. I was thinking of doing just like a little wallet closure for that one. So we do have an itinerary to sew. So here's the vibe of the hat that I had. It's just a bucket hat, but with a wider brim and then little ties too. These are a little bit bigger. I'm thinking of doing just like a bias tape tie to where it's like about a 1/4 inch. But this white skirt that I was thinking of doing is this. I would not put it on my hips. I would put it on my waist. I'm a waist girly. So it's just, this literally looks like a bed sheet, which is perfect because that's exactly what I have. So this looks like about a 2 to 3 inch bottom hem, and then it's gathered. I personally don't really like the look of a elastic gather on a skirt. It looks a little bit sloppy to me. So I am going to be trying out a specific skirt pattern to where she elasticizes the back of the waist, but the front has a solid white panel, and then it's just gathered with basting stitches. And then this is the men's shirt that I want to rip off the collar and add little elastics at the bottom of the sleeves. It's just a regular like men's dress up shirt, but since it is big, I want to bring it in somehow. I think it'll be cute. I'm bringing some like rib cage flare black jeans. I'm gonna do bias tape around the neck with a tie. I'll show you what I'm inspired by. This is all over my YouTube feed right now. This is a very expensive, it's called the Clementine shirt, very oversized. You can see her shoulder drops down to right here, and then it's gathered right here, especially gathered at the wrist, and then the contrasting ties, which I think are gorgeous. She already has like a button. So I'm already like halfway there with the shirt. I just want to bring this in and then add the ties. I'm not going to do anything with the sleeve or like rip it off because honestly, I mean, it's gathered, but you can actually hardly tell. Here's another one. And the sleeves, yeah, they're gathered, but like I am on a crunch to get this done because I leave in 6 days. Here's also the hat I want to improve on. This is what I did the other day. This is what I'm going to give to my friend. My thread actually broke halfway when I was stitching on the brim. I do have to go around the bottom of it, but you just see how I'm just swamped in it. I mean, it's kind of cute. I do feel like one of those Ren Fair fairies when they have a flower on their head. I just think it's a little bit too big. It holds its shape pretty well. Like when I fold it, it's not going to fully like fall off immediately, but I'm sure when a gust of wind comes or when you get it wet in the pool, of course it's going to fall over. So I want to cut it down, probably take off like 3-4 inches. I do have this, which I think it matches the best between my other light blue one. I'm just gonna do these as the ties and then this around the brim, and then I'll tie it in together. I think it'll be really cute. The hat is done. I can't believe, like, this is 10 times better than I could have ever imagined. I added some ties, as you can see, but I didn't insert them like inside the hat. I just kind of stitched them on top, and that's fine. And it has so much more structure than obviously with the wider brim. And a lot of the photos on Pinterest, they don't even tie it, they just loop it. This type of like blue, it's kind of like a periwinkle in real life. It is so cute. It turned out better than I could have ever imagined. You ever make something and you're like, whoa, I made that. That's right now. And I can't believe what I thought was a fail because the brim was too big turned out so beautiful. Now I don't want to give it away to my friend. It's too perfect. I did end up cutting 2 inches from the brim instead of 3 or 4 because I didn't want to cut too much off, and this is the perfect amount. It gives that little scoop to the brim all around without it being too in your face, or, you know, and the sun's a little bit crazy, you can just let her flop down. Little gardening hat. It's so cute. I'm so in love with it. I will link the pattern to this hat down below. I did alter it a little bit for the top part right here. I took about 1/2 inch off to make it, because it was too, like, my head's not that big, you know, like to where I want it to sit. I like my hat sitting like on top of my head instead of flat. And then I extended the brim. And then too much, and then I took it back down. And then I put interfacing because it's 2 layers folded wrong sides together and then flipped. That's what's helping it maintain its shape. I did use a woven cotton for this, which I think also helps instead of just like a looser lining, like bed sheet. I always use bed sheets for everything, but I think the woven fabric for this really helps the structure of it. So I ripped off the collar of the shirt, and I've decided I'm just gonna chop right below the button placket and then I'll cinch it then. I want to cut down the collar even more because when I put bias tape on it, I feel like this is still too tall for my liking. I want it half, and I'm gonna take off this middle button right here. That way it sits lower on my neck instead of standing up. Like, I don't know, I don't fully vibe with it. And I'm just gonna rip off these buttons. So I cut out my bias tape. I have 2 arm hole loopy things, and then I just did enough to make a little bow, and that's me just testing the length right there. I did 2 inches, so that way when it's folded it is 1/2 inch around the collar and around the wrist. This is the synthetic sheet. I thought I got rid of it and then I found it in my scrap bag. But yeah, this is really stretchy. This is synthetic, so when I iron it I have to be extra careful to not burn it because I've already done that before with a previous shirt. So I folded and pressed the bias ties, and then I also did just 1 sleeve as a test just to see if I would like the outcome, and I just gathered it with 2 basting stitches and then put the bias tape around it. And I do only have a dark purple thread, so I went out to get black thread, and then by then I was already burnt out, so I stopped sewing. It's a new day. I'm wearing the same clothes. The purple was bothering me a little bit just on the test tie, so I took Sharpie and I colored it in. I just realized I do have black thread because I was looking for a bobbin, and this one already had barely any black thread in it, and I'm like, where'd that come from? I forgot I did a top a while ago. I mean, I'm almost out, so it's good that I got a new roll. I just didn't think I had any left, but I'm glad I found it. So I got the sleeves both done. It's really getting me excited for the final piece. This bias is already like, it's stretching even more, so it's gonna be extra long. It's already hitting the floor. So I'm just gonna fold it in half and start sewing the bias closed, so around the collar, and then continue going on the bias to finish the strap. So I pinned it in the center. This first round of sewing, I'm just gonna stop at the collar right here. And then when I go back and flip the bias tape over, that's when I will finish the tails. And only just now did I run out of bobbin thread. So I got through an entire sleeve with the remnants, and I still have some on my spool for the bobbin. I'm gonna wind with my new roll. Okay, so here's the top. It turned out so cute. I have the bias ties just around the collar, the sleeves, the gathering stitch, and then just with bias tape turned out great. I didn't know how it was gonna go. It was really hard to put it on my machine just because the hole was so small, so I had to make sure and like just keep scooting, make sure I wasn't sewing over like the armhole clothes, but that was a journey. But this top could be dressed up or dressed down, and that's exactly what I need for this trip. It's giving like school. It looks like a little school top with this, but it's so freaking cute. The black and the red, I'm dying for it. It is so perfect. I love the color combo. This one's so cute, and I love that I didn't have to make the entire freaking shirt. And it only took me a few hours. What I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna touch the bottom of this either. I think in jeans and a skirt, I'll just tuck it in. I love the top. Now for the skirt. Okay, so the skirt pattern that I'm doing, I will link it below as well. But I just put the two pieces of the skirt together. These are just French seamed, and then I ironed it. That way everything lays beautiful and flat. So now, which is just the main part, I'm working on the waistband, which is half elastic, half just gathered, and then with a single panel. I didn't want to do a full elastic because, I don't know, whenever I do them, personally, it doesn't look that great, and it's a little bit sloppy. The skirt is done. The skirt's as done as it's gonna get. I cut the pattern out about a month ago. I'm a measure once, cut once kind of gal, so that's exactly what I did. I didn't remeasure anything. I did pay the price when I put it on the machine because some things were too big and then other things were too small, so I like the structure of this front waistband. This is definitely going to be like a stable pattern and one that I definitely can improve on. This is nice. This has interfacing, so it gives it like structure. And the back has elastic. A few things. I made this elastic channel way too big, thinking that I wanted a thick waistband, and I do, but I just don't have the elastic to fill that gap up. So that's why it's really bunchy back here. And I was gonna sew like the elastic down, that way it's like symmetrical, the gathers, and then my thread kept snapping. I just stepped on the skirt. And so I gave up. I did also, whenever I did cut it out, I used the rest of my sheet that I had. So I don't have 2 times gather, I have like 1.5. The skirt's not as gathered or flowy as I would like it. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna try again with this pattern. I need more fabric. I'm starting to get down to only scraps now, but I got the sheet at Goodwill a few months ago, so I'm trying to go through my fabric stash. Let me show you the outfits I have for this capsule wardrobe with the new pieces I just sewed. And there's the capsule wardrobe for my trip. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more vlog sewing videos. I'll catch you next time. Bye.